Sounds True presents Taoist Healing Imagery with Ken Cohen. Ken Cohen is an internationally known scholar and master of Taoist healing arts. He is a graduate of the William C.C. Chen School of Tai Chi Chuan and has trained with Taoist priests of the Mount Hua and Lung Men sects. Ken was himself ordained as a Taoist priest in 1981. On this recording, Ken has drawn on more than 20 years of training to distill what he considers the essential Taoist imagery practices. Many of these were held very sacred and secret by Taoist priests living in the high mountains of China, who used imagery to cultivate health, longevity, and harmony with nature. You may practice any single visualization or combination of visualizations. End your session when you feel you have practiced long enough. If you begin to feel dizzy or uneasy, stop practicing and ground yourself with the basic breathing practice. And now, Taoist Healing Imagery with Ken Cohen.
Qigong is the generic term for the ways of using breath and posture for healing and spiritual transformation in China. There are three main kinds of Qigong. We could call them medical, martial arts, and spiritual Qigong. The goal of the first, medical Qigong, is obviously for self-healing. The goal of martial arts Qigong is how to cultivate the breath and refine the posture in order to generate more power in the martial arts or to protect the body. And finally, spiritual Qigong has as its goal enlightenment, awareness, and a sense of unity with the cosmos. Of course, in China there are two main forms of spiritual Qigong, the first one being Buddhist and the earlier ancient tradition of Taoist Qigong. And this will be the focus in this tape. We're going to explore the use of imagery in Taoism. Now, although healing imagery might be considered the leading edge of research in the West, it is a very ancient tradition in China, going back to the earliest Taoist texts from about the 3rd century BC. Physiologically, these Taoist visualizations lead to a slowing of the brain waves, putting one in a very deep state of consciousness, what psychologists call an alpha-theta state, indicating that the unconscious is becoming conscious. That is, we're getting more in touch with who we are. As in all forms of imagery work or Qigong, we always begin with deep relaxation. The more we are relaxed, the more quiet the mind is, the more lucid the images become, the more our images or visualization practices can stand out against this tranquil, quiet background. So let's begin by sitting upright in our chairs. If you can, it's best to sit straight without leaning against the backrest of the chair, so you're using the muscles of your own lower back to maintain the erect posture. The feet uncrossed, the feet flat on the ground, and actually sensing the ground with the bottoms of your feet, as though you're listening to the quality of contact that your feet make with the ground. The spine is straight, feeling somewhat elongated, but not stiff. Make sure that the vertebrae at the back of the neck are also straight, that you're not closing the chin in towards the chest or lifting the chin back. So there's one straight line that you sense from the crown of the head right down to the tailbone. The hands can be resting comfortably in the lap, and the eyes lightly closed. The process of relaxing in China is called song chen. Song means relax, chen means to sink down. What this implies is that every part of the body is seeking its lowest level in the field of gravity, like water flowing downwards. So we want all of the bones to stack appropriately one on top of the other. No excess effort used to maintain the erect posture. In Chinese relaxation, we don't simply relax the entire body as a unit, but rather work from the crown of the head down to the bottoms of the feet in a sort of differential or piecemeal kind of way, so that we relax each part of the body one part at a time. This is also part of song chen, sinking and relaxing. So let's begin this process. Again, check that you're sitting upright, relaxed as possible, the eyes lightly closed, mouth closed, breathing easily through the nose, feet flat on the ground, hands in the lap. And think that the muscles at the crown of the head are relaxing downwards, heavy, relaxed, sinking down, as though the muscles right from the crown of the head are sinking down to your feet. Don't worry about what this means intellectually. Instead, go into the experience. The muscles of the forehead, sides, back of the head, all the way to the eyes and eyebrows, sinking downwards to the feet. All the muscles of the face, especially the mouth, sinking down. Even the tongue is allowed to sink down. The tongue is floating loosely in the lower jaw. Muscles around the mouth, relaxed, sunk. Muscles around the ears, relaxed, heavy, sunk. The shoulders, sitting relaxed, allowing the weight of your arms to rest easily in your lap. No need to hold them up with artificial or excess effort. The palms and fingers, the wrists, the whole arms, relaxed and sunk down. The chest relaxed. Allow the ribs to hang, to float. The sternum, the breastbone, relaxed and sunk. All the vertebrae of the spine, relaxed, sunk. The vertebrae of the spine sinking down towards the ground. All of the internal organs, the whole torso, the waist. Allow it to flow downwards like water, to sink down to the feet. The lower abdomen, releasing any tension there, releasing any holding. The lower abdomen also sunk, relaxed. The hips, the hip bones, the genital region, also sunk down, so the whole body releases its weight into the support of the chair and further into the ground. The thighs relax down, the knees, the lower legs sunk, sinking all the way down to the feet. The whole body relaxed and sunk down into the ground, allowing yourself to be supported by the ground, like a ship that releases its weight, releases its mass into the support of the ocean. No need to fear or to worry that the ground will not support you. Relax and sink downwards. In this relaxed state, we again prepare ourselves for the Taoist imagery work through a process known as Sinjai, the fasting of the mind. We're fasting from thoughts, from concepts, from ideas and images, allowing stillness to develop, not trying to stop the thoughts, but allowing the thoughts to settle of themselves, like a lake where the wind is not blowing and the waves just settle right back down into the water, allowing the mind to settle. Taking a few minutes just to observe your inner feeling, observing the natural flow of the breath without wondering what it means, without concepts, without thinking about. Letting the breath move at its own pace, neither pulling the breath in nor pushing it out, letting nature breathe you. Noticing the quality of the breath, what the breath tells you about yourself, about who you are. Again, stay with the feeling, not the thoughts. And again, taking a few moments just to feel, just to experience this stillness. Now we are ready to begin the first visualization practice, known as Dantian breathing. The Dantian means the field of the elixir. It is the energy center in the lower abdomen, the place where through awareness and concentration we can plant the elixir of long life and wisdom. This is the most important energy center in Taoism. Technically, we can call it the lower Dantian, since there are also two other Dantians, two other fields of the elixir, one in the chest and one corresponding to the third eye. To begin with, we will focus on the lower Dantian. This is a region about 3 inches below the navel and midway into the center of the body. So the Dantian is actually in the core between the lower abdomen and the lower back. Let's first just notice if we can feel that part of the body moving as we observe the natural flow of the breath. So if you allow inner space, if you allow yourself to stay relaxed and sunk so that the chest need not move as you breathe, you might feel the breath also sinks. The breath is allowed to drop, to move low in the body, as though the only place where there is movement, the only place that responds to the pulse of the breath, is that core region, the Dantian. When you're breathing with the Dantian, the lower abdomen and the lower back expand gently when you inhale and close as you exhale. We are doing this through following the natural pace of the breath. You don't need to force or control it. Simply feel the lower abdomen and lower back expanding, moving gently apart when you inhale. And then as the air releases, those two areas come very naturally closer together. Take a few moments just to feel the natural Dantian breathing, opening on inhalation, closing on exhalation. If you can't feel those parts of the body physically moving, it's enough just to imagine it. The will or intent guides the qi. The mind guides the flow of vital energy. So simply bring your focus there, and what you can't physically feel, just imagine. allowing your mind to sink into the Dantian. To help open this energy center more, to create more awareness of the Dantian and also more stimulation so that the Dantian can fill with the vital energy, we focus our mind on the Dantian, and this time as you inhale, physically expand. That is, physically with a slight effort, push the lower abdomen and the lower back apart with your internal muscles. Again, as much as you're able to without forcing it. Physically open that area, and now as you exhale, squeeze the lower abdomen and the lower back. We're squeezing the region between the navel and the pubic bone and the corresponding area in the sacrum, in the lower back. Squeezing the breath out. And now as you begin to naturally inhale, let the breath be drawn in even more strongly by consciously expanding the lower abdomen and the lower back. Really expand it. And again, as you exhale, squeeze the breath out. We're working the abdominal and the sacral pump. Squeezing the breath out, lower abdomen and lower back. Practice this 3 or 4 times, and then return once again to basic observation of the breath in the lower dantian, in the lower abdomen. Again, we practice the exercise consciously 3 or 4 times, opening and squeezing, and then we return to the natural breath, but observing it in the dantian. And I think you will find that now the breath is moving more easily there, and there is more physical movement in the lower abdomen and the lower back. The goal is not to consciously breathe by opening and squeezing all the time. We simply do this as an exercise to focus and to bring more stimulation to that area so that in our natural breathing there will be more movement in the lower abdomen and the lower back. The lower dantian is the field of the elixir. It is the main reservoir for vital energy, for life energy in the body. There are also 2 other major energy centers in Taoism. One in the center of the chest, called the middle dantian, and the other one at the third eye, the upper dantian. The root or base dantian, the one in the lower abdomen, is the root of this tree of life. We want to work first on filling and stimulating the lower energy center, and then work on the middle and upper energy centers. This way we are building a strong foundation. Once you have the foundation, you can build that building very tall. You can build that structure very high. If you don't have a strong foundation, then if you go to the upper dantian too soon, if you work on the higher centers too soon, it's like creating a very tall structure, nothing underneath it, no roots. The structure will just fall over. So again, I cannot overemphasize the importance of focusing on the lower dantian. Once you have a sense that you're able to breathe and feel from the lower abdomen, from the lower energy center, then we can go on to the meditation of the 3 dantians, the 3 fields of the elixir. Again, remaining seated, the eyes lightly closed, maintaining the internal focus, the quietness, stillness, relaxed, sunk. Bring your mind first, once more to the lower dantian. Feel again the way the breath is moving there, without forcing it. It naturally opens when we inhale. It naturally closes when we exhale, effortlessly, of itself. And then allow that feeling, that image to go. And I'd like you to bring your focus now to the middle dantian, to the center of the chest, the energy center just below and behind the breastbone. again in the center of the body. This time we're going to practice a very light, non-forced, that is unforced, upper respiratory breathing. To practice stimulating the middle dantian, we bring our mind to this energy center in the center of the chest, just below the breastbone. This time we're going to breathe with the lungs, not worrying about what's happening in the lower abdomen. All of the focus is in the center of the chest. As you inhale, allowing the chest to expand equidistant in all directions, gentle expansion, unforced, feeling the way the ribs move to the front, the sides, the back, the whole volume of the chest opening up when you inhale. And as you exhale, the chest releases the breath, again without force. The mind is staying focused on the middle dantian, opening the chest as you inhale, closing the chest as you exhale. And continue in this way for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then again, let that image go and bring your focus now to the third eye, to the place between the eyebrows. As you maintain your focus there, breathe again with the chest, expanding as you inhale, closing as you exhale. The method of breathing for middle and upper dantian is identical. Allowing the ribs to open up, expand, feeling the whole volume increasing naturally as you inhale, letting the chest sink, relax. As the breath releases, the volume decreases. Inhaling, the chest opens up. Exhaling, the chest closes. The mind stays focused at the upper dantian, the third eye. After practicing this for a few minutes, I'd like you to do a general inner awareness, what the Taoists call nei guan, inner looking or inner contemplation. To notice the effects that these 3 kinds of focus and breathing have had, you can imagine that the 3 dantians are 3 spheres. One in the lower abdomen, the second one in the chest, and the third one at the third eye. Holding the image of these 3 spheres and noticing whether they are aligned, whether they are stacked one above the other. The breath is just natural. The breath has returned to its regular pattern of breathing in the lower body. That is the relaxed and normal pattern of breathing. Without force, the breath opens when you inhale, mostly in the lower abdomen, closes naturally when you exhale, all effortlessly. But while we're breathing in this relaxed way, we focus on the three spheres: upper dantian, middle dantian, lower dantian, looking to see if they are aligned. And if not, you can use your intent, your will, to gently move those spheres slightly over so they come into a perfect vertical alignment, one over the other. If there was an axle running through the three spheres, it would move through the exact center of each: lower abdomen, chest, and third eye. And we can hold this internal focus on the alignment of the three dantians. This helps to bring a balance of sexual energy, breath, and spirit.
This concludes Side A. Please turn the tape over and rewind for Side B.
Our next practice is called the meditation of the dragon and tiger. This is used to energize the body, to increase the level of vitality. The dragon and tiger represent the water and fire elements in the body. To practice this, we close the eyes and focus first on the lower dantian, as in the earlier meditation. We imagine now that the lower dantian is an ocean, imagining water in the lower abdomen. And floating in that ocean is a dragon. Just hold that image first. A dragon floating in the waters of the lower dantian. And now I'd like you to also imagine the spine, but visualizing the spine as a hollow tube, a hollow conduit for vital breaths. With every phase of your respiration, with every inhalation and every exhalation, imagine that the dragon in the lower abdomen is slowly moving into the spine, as though there is an opening in the spine at the level of the lower dantian, and the dragon is able to slowly move through that opening. As you inhale, it begins to draw into the spinal column. As you exhale, it draws in a little bit more, until you can visualize the entire dragon within the spine. And now, again, with every phase of the breath, with each inhalation and each exhalation, allow that dragon to slowly rise up the spine itself, as though the breath is pumping the dragon upwards, moving it up through the lower back. As you continue breathing, each breath moves the dragon upwards through the middle back. It moves between the shoulder blades. You inhale, it rises up a bit more. Exhale, it rises up further. Moves through the vertebrae in the neck. Up the back of the head. Until finally, at your own pace, it emerges from the body, the dragon resting at the crown of the head. Hold that image for a moment. The dragon sitting, resting on the crown of the head. And now I'd like you to bring your focus to the middle dantian, the region of the heart. Imagining that the middle dantian is a spiritual fire, imagining the fire element, and a tiger in the midst of this fire. Hold the image. Again, with every breath, the tiger begins to move slightly back towards the spine. There is an opening within the spine through which the tiger can enter. Each breath, each inhalation, each exhalation moves the tiger gradually into the spine itself. Until finally the tiger is completely enclosed within the spine. And now, as before, each breath pumps the tiger upwards through the spine from the level of the heart. As you inhale, the tiger begins to move upwards. As you exhale, it moves higher up. Inhaling, it's moving up towards the upper back. Exhaling, pumped up even higher, till the tiger is the level of the neck. and the back of the head. And again, moving it at your own pace, it gradually emerges from the crown of the head. Once the tiger and the dragon are clearly seen at the crown, allow them to come together. Let there be a kind of magnetism that draws them together. The moment they join, as though locked together in an almost sexual union, they change into a golden pearl. This golden pearl sheds light, golden light, down over the outside of the body, the entire body flooded by golden light. Allow the light to move all the way down to the very bottoms of the feet. Once the image has reached its natural completion, allow the image to go, returning once more to simple sitting, the fasting of the mind without image, without thought, resting in stillness. A very important aspect of Taoism, and thus of Taoist visualization from the most ancient times, is attunement to nature, learning to not only sense the natural world as part of ourselves, but being able to actually absorb qi, absorb life energy from natural phenomena. In this visualization, we will learn to absorb energy from the sun, the moon, and the stars. 3 self-luminous aspects of nature that suggest to all ancient peoples reservoirs of vital energy, energy that can feed us. Naturally, we practice the meditation of the sun, absorbing energy from the sun during the daytime, the meditation of the moon and stars at night. We'll begin with the golden light solar meditation. You can do this either in your home or actually sitting outside under the sun. Again, go into your basic sitting posture with the eyes closed, relaxed and sunk, breathing naturally. And simply imagine the light of the sun melting down over the outside of the body, both cleansing and energizing. Taking a solar shower, the light of the sun melting down over the body, from the crown to the feet, cleansing and energizing. Once you've seen the solar energy bathing the entire body, then you can open your mouth and inhale the sun. Draw the sun into your mouth. As you close your mouth, imagining the sun's light and energy mixing with the saliva. Now, as you naturally exhale through the nose, imagine that the saliva carrying the solar essence is dropping down through the body like a lead pill dropping through the ocean, like a weight dropping into the sea. The saliva carries the solar light and energy down to the lower dantian, to the field of the elixir, where the energy of the sun is stored. Again, to review it, we've inhaled through the mouth, absorbing the solar light and energy into the saliva, swallowing the sun. As you exhale through the nose, swallow the saliva down, imagine it dropping like a pill into the field of the elixir, storing the energy in the lower dantian. The same procedure is followed in absorbing the light of the moon. Practicing at night, we imagine that the light of the moon, ideally at the time of the full moon, is bathing the body with silver rays, silver light flooding the body, starting from the crown, melting down, flooding down over the outside of the body. A lunar shower from the crown down to the feet. The silver light of the moon is again cleansing, revitalizing, energizing. After practicing bathing the body in the light of the moon, you can again swallow the lunar essence. As in the earlier meditation, open your mouth and inhale, swallowing the moonlight. Allow it to mix with the saliva. Closing the mouth lightly as you exhale through the nose, let the saliva drop down, carrying the lunar essence. Imagine it dropping like a pill again into the lower dantian, into the lower abdomen. That seed of lunar essence is planted in the field of the elixir. It is stored in the lower abdomen. And this can be repeated. Again, you inhale the light of the moon, the light and energy of the moon, into the mouth, swallowing the moonlight, closing the mouth as the breath comes naturally out through the nose. The saliva carries the lunar essence like a pill, dropping down to the lower abdomen, to the dantian. These two meditations, absorbing the energy of the sun and moon, can be practiced several times each, 3, 4, 5 times, as many as you wish, until you sense that your body is truly filled with the energy of the sun or of the moon. Finally, we come to absorbing energy from the stars. The Taoists, like many ancient people, believe that one of the most powerful constellations is the Big Dipper. And they saw the Dipper as an actual receptacle or dipper filled with vital energy. To practice the Dipper meditation, we sit outdoors during a time and in a place where the Dipper is visible, closing the eyes, imagining the Dipper overhead, and allow the Dipper to overturn so that purple amethyst-colored light pours out of the Big Dipper. It pours out of the bowl of the Dipper gradually down towards your body. It enters the body at the crown of the head through the acupuncture point known as Bai Hui, the point at the crown. The whole body begins to fill with this purple light. Continue holding the image of the Dipper overturned, the purple light pouring out of the Dipper, entering the crown, filling the body from the feet gradually up to the crown of the head itself. Once you've seen the entire body filling like a hollow vessel filled with purple light, allow the excess light now to cascade down over the surface of the body. Purple light of the Dipper is filling the body, fills up to the crown. The light continues to move now, cascading down over the outside of the body, again cleansing, energizing, vitalizing your entire being. Once we have cultivated stillness and found a way that the body can become a fit receptacle for astral energies, once we've allowed the energy of sun, moon, and stars to fill and energize the body, the next stage is imagining ourselves journeying to those asterisms, to the sun, moon, and stars. This is called Ling Shen Yuan You. The spirit goes on a distant journey. Imagine yourself sitting on a mountaintop at the edge of the sea. The sun is beginning to rise. You're looking at the sun. Imagining now a bridge of fiery clouds descending from the sun to the place where you're sitting on that mountaintop. Your body becomes very light, porous, like a cloud, like a feather. And you begin to float along this fiery bridge until you reach the sun itself. You are drawn into the sun. You become the sun, allowing yourself to be the sun, shining light and warmth in all directions. A similar meditation is practiced with the moon, visualizing silvery clouds, a silver bridge coming down from the moon. Again, you're sitting on the mountaintop. You're looking out over the ocean. It's nighttime. The moon has just risen. You see the silver clouds descending from the moon. Your body becomes light, porous, cloud-like, until you can float along that bridge of silver clouds to the full radiant moon. You enter the moon, become the moon. Feel yourself as the moon, shining silver light on all, in all directions. We can also imagine the body filled with the stars. For the ancient Chinese, when they said the stars, they were actually thinking of what we call the planets, especially what they knew of as the 5 major planets, that is Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Saturn, and Mercury. This meditation is called the cosmic self meditation. Imagine ourselves standing. Now you can do this while you're seated in your chair, or you can physically stand up. The eyes are lightly closed. We imagine now that the planet Jupiter is a green gem held in the left hand. The planet Jupiter, a green gem in the left hand. Venus is a white gem in the right. Again, Jupiter, like emerald, green gem in the left. Venus, like a pearl, white gem in the right hand. While still holding those images, Mars is over the crown of the head as a fire. Mars, a fire over the crown. The planet Saturn, gold in the heart. Saturn, gold in the heart. And Mercury, the planet Mercury, black jade under the feet. If you find yourself starting to become somewhat lightheaded or losing balance, make sure you practice this meditation while seated. Again, try to hold all of the images at the same time. Jupiter, green gem in the left. Venus, a white gem in the right. Mars, fire over the head. Saturn, gold in the heart. Mercury, black jade under the feet. Hold this image of yourself as filling the solar system, your cosmic self. And then whenever you're ready, let the images go. Return to your basic awareness of the breath and of your inner feeling, without image, in silence. The Taoists speak of three aspects of the universe: heaven, earth, and human. They say that the human being exists between heaven and earth, like a tree with branches that reach up to the heavens and deep roots that connect us down into the earth. That we are the medium, the meeting place between the spirit and the ordinary world. In order to sense the unity of these three aspects of the universe, in order to actually feel the body as a conduit for the energy of creation, we practice a meditation called Tian Ren He Yi, heaven and human harmonized as one. Seated upright in your chair, the eyes closed, sinking, relaxing, stillness. Imagine that you are drawing down the energy of the highest heavens, sending your mind up as high as you can go, allowing that energy to be pulled down from as high as you can go. Bring it down and send it through your body, however it moves. It doesn't have to follow the spine or any particular pathway. Just draw that energy and send it down all the way through your body, through your feet. Drop that energy down towards the center of the earth or as deep as you can go. Keep your mind going. Send it down right through to the center of the earth. Let the meditation proceed at its own pace. For some, you will be able to drop the energy down or send it up more quickly than others. Once the energy has dropped down to the center of the earth or as deep as you can send it, start to draw it upwards, bringing it up towards your body. Send it through your body and let it exit the crown of the head Keep going upwards. Send it up higher, to the clouds, into space, as high up as you can go. And then begin to draw it down again towards your body. Move it through your body. And send your feeling all the way down to the center of the earth. One more time, draw it up from the center of the earth. Bring it through your body. Send it up through the crown. Keep it going upwards as high as you can go. And now draw it down once more. It enters the crown. And this final time, it drops down to the lower dantian, to the lower abdomen, where the energy of the universe is stored. And return again to your basic self-awareness, noticing if there's been any change in your inner feeling, in the dimensions of who you are. Each of these meditations can be practiced whenever you feel the need. There's no particular time of day, except for meditations that obviously need to be practiced at night or in the morning, when we're tuning in to the moon or the sun. Other than that, practice whenever you feel the need, as often as you wish, staying with your inner feeling. You will know when you are full, as after a good meal, or when you need to practice longer. As long as you are able to continue listening to your inner feelings, to your inner wisdom, you will be able to practice correctly. At the very end of your visualization practice, whether you have practiced all of these techniques, or one or several, we always return to Sinjai, the fasting of the mind free of images, of thoughts, of concepts, dwelling in pure emptiness, simply sitting, feeling, observing. No particular point of reference, no particular focus, an open window of awareness, sensing ourselves as one with the Tao, flowing with the forces of creation.
This concludes Taoist Healing Imagery with Ken Cohen. If you would like additional copies of this recording or a complete catalog of transformational audio tapes, please call Sounds True at 1-800-333-9185 or write Sounds True, 735 Walnut Street, Boulder, Colorado, 80302.